Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. This is a mini, and I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
I'm Dana.
No Brian.
No music again, too. It's so weird. There's our timer now. I think I'll probably find myself doing like the Cindy Brady, staring at the timer now. Like,
Oh, are you stuck with the red dot?
Baton Rouge, Cindy. Baton Rouge, you know this.
I want to start off by saying I saw one of the funniest hours of comedy in a stand-up
Did you watch
special.
Beautiful Dogs?
I watched Beautiful Dogs by Shane Gillis on Friday night.
Awesome. You finally
I've never heard of this.
Oh my God.
Shane Gillis, you know, I've seen him. That's
You
one of
saw
the
him
concerts I've
live
gone to
in
see.
concert, and
Yeah.
I know you've talked about his special before, and Logan came home from work. Michelle and I were I think we're in between shows, and he's like, why don't you guys watch the Shane Gillis special? And we're like, all right. And so Logan and Michelle and I watched it. Oh my God. It is super inappropriate in this day and age. I was surprised some of the words that he was saying. I was
On
like,
Netflix,
wow,
too,
Wow,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, but it was very, very funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that special a lot. It's really good.
laughing out loud and hard like 10 times. In
Really?
This thing. I was
The
like,
becoming
oh
a
my God.
Republican thing
Yeah,
was really funny.
And he does an outstanding Donald Trump
Oh, his
impression. I
Trump
was
is
shocked how
on,
good
yeah.
his Trump was. And I was like, too bad he didn't get on Saturday Night Live, because
He would have
would've
been perfect for
he would have
Trump.
been the Trump,
Saturday Night Live, yeah.
Wow.
yeah, because he
I'll have to
does the
check
whole
that
Trump
out.
thing, and he's the guy that was going to be on SNL, and then they found clips of him saying some
On his
anti.
podcast, he was doing an Asian accent.
I was
Oh,
at-
really?
yeah.
Not
Oh, I think I remember that.
Not anti-Asian, just an Asian, I guess.
Yeah,
you know,
it
he
was.
just,
Yeah, it wasn't being anything negative, but it was just he was doing Asian accents, and they didn't like that.
Oh.
All right, that's
was that, yeah.
That's that.
I'm surprised. I'm happy that you finally watched it. Man.
No, it was all good. He was super funny. I'm now disappointed that I didn't see him when you saw him live. I'd like to see him live. And by the way,
Yeah.
Pete Davidson last night on SNL, the host,
Yeah.
his entire
He did the
monologue
monologue, we saw it.
I said
Yeah,
to Michelle, I'm like,
we saw
this
it.
was all the stuff
Yeah.
I saw him do.
His
Everything
sister,
he did. Yep.
watching Game of Thrones with his sister.
Everything he did, I was like, he was working on material for SNL, I guess. Michelle, of course, was saying like, really? I don't remember this. I'm like, are you awake during these shows that we go to?
Yeah, the whole thing. I was like, I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't do that one character. I was hoping he was going to do in a sketch. Like, okay.
Chad?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Chad.
Chad. Yeah, yeah. But he was good. I mean, listen, I'm not a huge Pete Davidson fan, but he was good on SNL this week.
I
He
like
was,
those.
Yeah.
There's three kids, they're writers or
Yes.
whatever, and they do the video one. And
Yeah,
when
Do
he
Not
said
Burn or
hello to
something
him,
like that.
he said Ice Spice. He called the one Ice Spice.
And did you notice his like he's getting his tattoos removed? His
Oh, really?
left
Yeah,
arm,
some of his tattoos are being removed.
His left
Yeah.
arm looks like a kid's drawing now, because there's like empty spaces, and there's a line down this way, and then it's all blank here, and then there's a line
But
over
I
here.
think he might be doing new tattoos over him too.
Yeah,
so I
'cause
don't even
he
know
was
if he's just
shirtless
like,
at one point. And geez, man, his chest is a mess.
He's got like Kim Kardashian's kids tattooed on him and stuff like that.
Are you serious?
Their names or like something for the letter of their names or something like that. Yeah, I know.
Oh
that
my
he had-
gosh.
I have a lot of things that
Oh,
I've
do you
watched
really? Okay,
recently,
go,
so I'm
go,
gonna.
go.
Gen V, we talked about the
Mm-hmm.
new episode of that this week was really good. I'm loving that show so much.
What was that? 5 episodes in now?
Yeah, Dana, you said you haven't. You're not caught up, right?
Not caught up.
But I watched Killer Clowns
good.
from Outer Space. I watched
The original, like the 80s
From the
Killer
80s?
Clown.
from the
Yeah.
80s. It was just on last week, and I caught that, so I watched that.
And who does the theme song in that?
The Dickies do the.
right? Yeah.
They actually do the soundtrack.
The
They
whole
did that.
soundtrack.
Yeah, the
Oh, I
whole
didn't even know
album. Yeah. And also, I watched Cat's Eye from 1981.
James Woods, Cat's Eye, Stephen King. Yeah,
Drew Barrymore, James Woods, Charles Dutton's in that.
yeah. So that's the
somebody
one. With, Robert Hayes.
Robert Hayes.
Robert Hayes has to walk around the building. James Woods has to quit smoking, and what's the other one? Drew Barrymore with the cat, right?
Yeah,
Like,
she has the the monster living in her wall.
That was a good movie. I like that a lot. I haven't
Ghost
It
seen
was
Fan.
fun. I
ever.
enjoyed it. I was just getting in the mood. It was a Friday night movie. I watched that, and then I watched the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
Because it was a Friday the 13th weekend. I watched that.
Yeah.
I was actually watching that. It was on like AMC today. I watched that, but it was Friday the 13th weekend, so I actually watched Friday the 13th part 7 and 8 on Friday.
I watched something else yesterday too.
Well, and then I watched part 9 yesterday, and I watched part 10 today.
You didn't watch Saturday the 14th yesterday because it's on Peacock.
Is that
It's
a
on
movie?
Peacock, and I
Yeah.
watched it.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Richard Benjamin, Paula Prentice, Jeffrey Tambor.
Really?
It's a really
it's
good
a comedy.
band
Oh,
movie.
okay.
It's a really good bad movie.
What,
All right.
82?
One.
81?
Because we just missed it for the podcast.
I think
yeah.
I've told the story that my grandfather took us, my sister and me, to go see that in the theater.
And Dana, you could see the string like from the bat, like the bat hanging. You could see the string.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh.
that kind of.
Yeah.
But I watched 1962 Cape Fear. I watched that.
The original
with,
Cape Fear.
Robert Mitchum and
Is that I want to say Cary Grant, but it's not Cary
It's
Grant.
not Cary Grant.
It's the other one that I always get those two guys mixed up. Cary Grant.
I had it in my head because I knew they fought with each other because I got to pull it up real quick, but talk real fast.
They're both in the remake, the De Niro
yeah, they
version.
both have a cameo. Damn it, Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck.
Who
I always
plays
get those two mixed up.
De Niro one in that?
Robert Mitchum
Oh,
plays.
okay.
It's good. I mean, I had seen it a long time ago, but I watched it again. It was on TCM, and I like TCM because, again, they do like what Peacock does. They play 2 minutes. They talk in the beginning. Ben Mankiewicz or whoever, and it was Ben Mankiewicz and Mario Cantone introducing this movie, and then the whole movie plays with no commercials,
Yeah.
unedited. So
That's actually I watched SNL on Peacock because I don't have a DVR or anything like that. So this morning Michelle's like, "How are we going to watch Saturday Night Live?" I'm like, "I don't know."
That's why I watch it on
I was almost
Peacock
like,
as
I
well.
don't care how we watch it.
Yeah.
And then it was on Peacock. Dan, did you do anything fun or see anything fun in the
Well-
last couple times since we've seen you?
I'll start out with I also watched the first couple episodes of Gen V.
Are you liking it?
Yeah, I love it. Invasion is on Apple. It's second
Oh, I wanted to
season.
check that one out,
It's
yeah.
its finale's coming up. That's really good.
Who's in that? Anybody?
No.
Second season? That's
Yeah.
the 2 seasons?
I thought it was
geez.
the first season.
Me
I didn't
too.
know
No,
they had a
second season.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a new show on Netflix by this creator, director type guy, Mike Flanagan, called The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
saw that
okay.
up
I'm
there.
a big fan of his stuff. It's a lot of it's spooky, scary horror
Did he do
type
like
stuff.
the Hill House, the
Yeah.
Haunting on Hill House?
Yeah,
Is that him?
he did The Haunting on
too?
Hill House, Black
that a
Manor.
series, right? The Haunting
they're
on Hill
all-
House?
Yeah,
That was good. I remember that being
yeah,
scary-ish.
yeah.
For
It's
Netflix.
not scary. It is scary,
it's
but it's
spooky.
not.
It's
It's spooky.
spooky.
Yeah. This one's kind of like, it's funny because we were watching it and there was a funeral scene and there's this music and I'm like, this feels like Succession. And then Tara goes, this sounds like Succession. So it's kind of reminded me of that a little
Yeah.
bit with how it was, but it was really good so far. I just watched one episode.
I saw that listed.
I saw that
haven't
on
gotten there.
Netflix when I was
yeah,
on there. Yeah,
it was pretty good.
The fact that I went there for Shane Gillis says a lot about Netflix. That's the first time I've been there in
Yeah,
like
I'm
a
gonna
month.
check that out. Yeah. But the big thing I did last night, I went to see the Eras Tour movie, and it was
Wait,
phenomenal.
I thought you were going to see that tonight.
I am seeing it tonight.
and I'm an old white man. What's that?
Yes.
What's Eras Tour?
So it's the concert of Taylor Swift's tour.
Which is
Taylor
making
Swift.
over $100 million this weekend.
Let me tell you,
And
they probably just
pre-sale.
did that in merch as well. But
Yeah.
by the time I got there, merch was sold out. It was supposed to originally, it was premiering Friday. She bumped it up a day, premiered Saturday, and by like Friday, people were reporting all the merch was gone. More is coming in, so I'm going to have to go back there because I really want this stupid tin.
So you didn't get
There is
any merch?
No, there's a popcorn tin, and it has all these Taylor Swift, and I want that more than
Oh, and they're
anything.
going for
So
money
you went
online.
last night.
They're going online
For like $100
already.
bucks.
Yeah, $100
Yeah.
bucks for the popcorn tin.
Which was $20.
So you went last night. You're going again tonight
Yeah.
with your nieces.
Yes, went last night with just me and Tara because, long story, we bought another extra set of tickets for the 6 of us, but then we have to go tomorrow. So I wasn't going to let them go to waste, so went last night. It was amazing, so I'm very happy to go twice. It was,
Dana's most exciting thing
unbearably
today is not
loud.
doing this podcast.
yeah, it was unbelievably loud. I don't think normal movies are played at this level. I got a warning on my watch. Right when it started, it said, warning, this is a 95 decibel, whatever that means.
Oh, it's giving you a warning for your ears.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
like 10 minutes of this and you could have temporary hearing loss. I was like, ignore.
I get those on
it was
my
great.
watch. Well, I'm just in the car with the radio on. It's not even that loud. It's like, you might be going deaf. I'm like, I'm already there.
Yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
why it's so loud. I am deaf. But it was amazing. The crowd was amazing. It was everyone up dancing. Not everyone, but all the little kids who are probably like, 4 feet tall, they were all up in front of the screen, where there's a little bit of floor room, dancing, singing,
Yeah.
flipping out. not blocking the screen, which is great. Running up and down the aisles, everyone's having a great time. It was so loud I couldn't hear myself. I was singing, I could not hear
It
it.
was concert-like then.
Yeah.
There's nobody on
Yeah.
the planet that could do this like she does. Nobody.
Yeah,
We
I
were
don't-
talking
yeah.
about that before. Like anybody else puts out a concert movie, like the true fans are going, and that means it's losing money. But
Yeah.
somehow she does.
Was
it
she at
and-
SNL last night with Travis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she introduced
Ice
the
Spice.
band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I fast forwarded that
Oh,
stuff.
I know.
didn't see that.
I
Yeah.
actually went to the bathroom and Michelle's like, "It's just Miss Taylor Swift." I'm like, "What? How did I
Yeah.
miss her?" I'm
Oh,
like,
then that's why. Yeah, because now that I think about it, he said Taylor Swift at the end. Now that
Oh, you did thank
Yeah.
because Travis Kelce came out for that one little cameo real quick where he
wanted to see, yeah,
they
when they
went to
did that.
him real quick. I don't even remember what the
They
reason
were,
for
doing,
that
they were
was.
doing a football thing, and they were all talking about
Yeah.
Travis and Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait to go again tonight with the nieces because then it'll be more exciting. Because Tara was just sitting there like, what am I doing here? Though she said she had a good time. But she kept looking over at me a couple times like,
Is
What
Tara
are you
excited to go
doing?
tonight, though, too?
probably not as excited. But she's going, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it was great. I was singing. Everyone was singing. Luckily, because we had 6 seats and it was just 2 of us, there was no one on
How
either
long was
side.
it?
2.5 hours.
Just put on the
And there were
Felix show,
some, yeah. There were some previews, so it was, we were there for the 3 hours. But
What, like Disney previews?
there was Mean Girls the musical, which looks phenomenal.
That's going to be a movie?
Yeah.
Musical?
Yeah, The Marvels.
That's what
that
V
was
was
terrible.
talking about, right?
Yeah. One new Disney type movie that actually looked really good. They're remaking The Color Purple. Oprah is remaking The Color Purple.
Why?
I don't know. It looks good,
Yeah,
to be honest.
why?
Because the movie was good. This looks like a good remake of it, but I don't know. I guess for the new generation.
I don't know. That doesn't seem like a movie I'd want to see a second time.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty messed up movie.
That's like
I saw
Schindler's
that
List.
as a kid.
I saw Schindler's List once. I'm like, that was
Yeah,
enough.
that is enough. I had to watch it multiple times. They always
Yeah,
showed it to us in school.
That's not like the rewatchability. Like,
Yeah.
12 Years a Slave. Can't wait to watch that again. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't.
Are they
You watch
putting that
it
on
once. and
Blu-ray
it's
yet?
like-
I can't wait to see that again.
Yeah.
How does Brian sit here all the time, man? Like I'm hunched in the seat. I don't know
We can
what's
push it back this way going forward if you want. Also, yeah, we should get a fan
feel-
down here because I am sweating.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know why, yeah.
I feel that seat there. I could move my mic up, but I'm gonna have to talk to Brian
Here
about
you
that
kind
one.
of look like you're pushed against a wall and there's nowhere for you to go. There you have like space behind you, it looks like. So.
Just
Yeah.
kind of like hunched. I'm hunching.
What, did you watch anything else? or have you gone
we
anywhere?
watched Loki.
Yeah.
The
me too.
first two Lokis.
We already talked about Fear on here, right?
Yeah, because we had Mac on here the day after that.
That's right.
You know what? The Phillies are in the NLCS, and
Yes, they
that took up
are.
a lot of my time this last week. I gotta say, this is like a proud dad moment, which I don't have that much anymore. I have adults. I have adult sons, so they do their own thing. But I think since we last podcast, the Phillies they played that night, and that was the start of the
That was a Saturday.
the
with
Braves
Mac, right?
division.
Yeah.
Like
I think
they
that
were-
might have been game 2.
maybe game 2, yeah. But I saw 3 of these games with my kids. Like they were just on the couch watching with me and Michelle. I was like, "This is weird." Like no one, the 4 of us don't sit here and watch TV ever.
Were you high fiving?
Oh yeah, and Daniel, it's crazy because Daniel, like, he's not a sports guy like Logan is. Logan plays sports
Yeah.
and he's into sports and he bets on sports way more than a 19-year-old should. But Daniel was all tense and worked up, and every time something was happening, I was like, "Look at him!" I made him a terrible person also. So yeah, it was fun watching that. Daniel was not here for the clincher against the Braves. Logan was.
The clincher against Braves was rough. That was close.
Oh
yeah.
my god! And I know, you know what? I'm watching it on a Fire Stick that's a minute behind, and I fucking know Logan was on his phone. He knew it was happening because he would say shit after every like pitch or hit or something, and he's like, "Yeah, I feel good about that." I'm like, you're cheating, man. What are you doing? But he did not admit to it.
That's
so.
like when you don't want to tell somebody a spoiler. Like,
Yeah.
so did they die? You're like, I'm not telling you. And then you're like looking at their face to see like if.
He died. He died.
The last guy in the Braves guy that struck out, I was sitting there going like, "Oh my god, if this guy gets a hit, like the tying runs on base," and I was
Yeah.
getting all.
And then I was like,
Logan
if they
just
go-
looked at me. Logan was looking. He's like, "You really think this guy's going to be the guy that wins it for the Braves?" I'm like, "What?" And then the guy struck out, and I'm like, I'm like, you seem to have inside information here, sir.
I knew if they went back to Atlanta, I don't think they're winning Game 5.
They're better.
It's tough.
But it's so funny because I was reading all
The Braves had, 104 wins this season?
Wow.
I was reading all the post-game previews for the NLCS and ALCS, and everybody's like, yeah, the Phillies are winning the World Series, right? And I'm like, ooh, I never like having that kind of... I hate reading something where they're
I
like...
hate that confidence like that.
But I hate it the other way, too, where they're like, yeah, the Phillies have no chance in this series. I'm like, what are you talking about? But then when they say, but they're going to win, I'm like, hold on now there. What are you saying there? So
But this
I'm
is
never
definitely going to
happy.
be some fun TV coming up because if the kids watched with you then, they're probably going to watch more of the next series with you. So I'm excited for the next series. So,
We had friends at the games. Logan had a friend at the I guess it was the I don't remember now if Bryce Harper hit the home run in the last game or the game before that, but he was like 2 rows away from where that home
where the
run
ball
ball
landed. Nice. That's awesome.
And we had local
it's so
friends
fun
over there
in
too.
the stands and those kind of games because everybody around you, as long as you're all rooting for the same team, obviously, everybody just becomes like your best friend. You're like people you don't even know are just like high fiving you and just like you're having so much
it's
fun.
so easy to hit. Like, they started the series in Atlanta. The Phillies won the first one. The Braves won the second one on weird circumstances.
Philly should have won. It was a weird double play.
They should have won. I mean, they were leading 3-0 and whatever. But man, there's nothing worse than watching a game against the team you're trying to beat in the stadium with those fans, and like they go to the crowd and they're all high fiving. You're like, fuck you, like fuck your celebration. Like I hope you all die on the way home. But then you're watching it in Citizens Bank Park, in the Philly Park, and they're winning. And 45,000, probably more like 60,000 people are all going crazy, and you're like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what else is awesome?
What's awesome?
You know what else is awesome, Andy?
I think you're going to say a word. I don't know.
It's not as fun now without the music sneaking in, right? But you can find our podcast on Spreaker. Download, rate, subscribe, review, do all those fun things. It's the exciting new podcast on all our socials. Mine are the Jazoo over there on Twitter, the Jazoo on Instagram, Jazoo74 on Twitter. This has been the exciting and new mini podcast. I'm Jason.
You would have been better if you had the music going. AE Gonzo 1 on Twitter, AE Gonzo 1970 on Instagram. I'm Andy.
Dana Caps on TikTok, and I got locked out of my Twitter, so I don't know what my password is. I'm Dana.
Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.